Most people spend their lives preparing for enemies they can see. They train themselves to defend against strangers, competition, criticism from the outside world. But Master Shi Heng Yi teaches a far more unsettling truth. The most dangerous battlefield is never outside, it is hidden within proximity. This battlefield is silent. There are no screams, no visible attacks, only slow erosion. It exists in daily conversations, in subtle comments, in jokes that sting just enough to linger in your mind. It lives in familiar voices that question your growth while pretending to care, in smiles that feel warm yet leave you colder afterward. You see, enemies outside want to defeat you, but demons inside your circle want something more efficient. They want to reshape who you believe you are. They do not rush, they wait. They repeat doubt until it sounds like your own thought. A stranger cannot rewrite your identity, but a friend can, a family member can, someone you trust can. This is why the Shaolin path emphasizes awareness before action. Because when danger wears the face of familiarity, instinct becomes unreliable, emotion clouds judgment, attachment weakens perception. Master Shi Heng Yi reminds us, when someone stands close to you, they stand close to your foundation, and if that foundation is shaken daily, collapse does not need force, only time. The silent battlefield is where discipline is tested the most, not when you are attacked openly, but when you are slowly convinced to lower your guard, to accept comfort instead of challenge, to accept approval instead of truth. Understand this, not every person who walks beside you is walking toward your future. Some are only comfortable with the version of you that does not change. Recognizing this battlefield does not make you paranoid, it makes you conscious, and consciousness is the first step toward mastery. When people hear the word demon, they imagine something dark, violent, and obvious. But Master Shi Heng Yi teaches that the most destructive demons are invisible because they do not attack the body, they attack the mind. Demons are not beings, they are patterns. Patterns of behavior that slowly distort your discipline. Patterns of speech that weaken your resolve. Patterns of influence that pull you away from growth without you realizing it. A demon may sound like concern. Are you sure that's realistic? Why push yourself so hard? You should be grateful for what you have. These words are not evil by nature, but when they are used repeatedly to keep you small, they become chains disguised as kindness. Demons thrive on emotional access. They feed on your need to belong, your fear of disappointing others, your attachment to approval. Master Shi Heng Yi warns that demons rarely tell you to stop directly. Instead, they encourage hesitation. They normalize weakness. They reward comfort. They whisper, rest a little longer. Don't change too much. Stay the same. We like you this way. And slowly, discipline fades. A true demon does not destroy you in one moment. It convinces you to destroy yourself over time by abandoning your standards, your rituals, your inner code. This is why awareness is everything. Once you can name a pattern, it loses its power. Once you observe behavior without emotion, illusion collapses. The Shaolin path teaches clarity over reaction. Observe who strengthens your discipline. Observe who weakens it. Observe who respects your silence and who fears it. Not everyone who loves you wants you to grow, and not everyone who challenges you is against you. Understanding what demons truly are allows you to stop fighting shadows and start protecting your mind. Because in the end, the strongest warrior is not the one who defeats others, but the one who refuses to be corrupted quietly.
There is a reason demons do not begin with strangers. Strangers have no access to your inner world. They do not know your fears. They do not know your history. They do not know where your discipline is weakest. Only those close to you hold that map. Master Shi Heng Yi teaches that proximity is power. The closer someone is to your emotional center, the easier it is for them to influence your decisions without force. Friends and family do not need to raise their voice. They do not need to threaten. Their power lies in familiarity. A simple sentence from the wrong person can undo weeks of discipline. A casual comment can reopen wounds you worked hard to close. A laugh at the wrong moment can make you doubt your entire direction. Why? Because attachment lowers your guard. When someone is close, you stop analyzing their intentions. You assume safety. You assume loyalty. You assume love means alignment. But alignment is rare. Demons understand this better than warriors. They do not attack when you are strong. They wait until you are tired, until you are uncertain, until you seek comfort more than truth. Then they speak. They say, "You've changed. You're different now. You're not like before." What they truly mean is, you are no longer controllable. Master Shi Heng Yi reminds us that growth threatens stagnant systems. When you rise, those who refuse to rise with you feel exposed. Some will be inspired. Others will attempt to pull you back, not out of hatred, but out of fear. Fear of being left behind, fear of losing relevance, fear of facing their own lack of discipline. So they target you emotionally. They remind you of your past. They exaggerate your mistakes. They frame your ambition as arrogance. And if you are unaware, you begin to shrink yourself to protect their comfort. This is why the Shaolin path demands emotional independence. Not coldness, not arrogance, but clarity. Clarity to understand that closeness does not equal guidance, and love does not always equal wisdom.
Discouragement is the most common demon and the most accepted. It does not scream, it whispers. Master Shi Heng Yi teaches that discouragement is dangerous because it wears the mask of realism. It sounds logical, responsible, caring. Be careful. Don't aim too high. People like us don't succeed like that. At first, it feels protective, but over time, it becomes a ceiling. Notice this. The demon of discouragement rarely attacks your ability, it attacks your belief. It does not say, "You can't." It asks, "What if you fail?" And once fear enters the mind, discipline weakens. Those who carry discouragement often believe they are helping you. They think lowering your expectations will save you from pain. But what they truly protect is their own comfort. Because your success confronts their excuses. Master Shi Heng Yi reminds us, those who have not faced their own fears will always advise you to avoid yours. Discouragement repeats itself daily, in small doses, in jokes, in reminders of risk, in comparisons to others who failed. And repetition creates identity. Soon, you begin to speak their words in your own voice. You call it being realistic, but in truth, you are rehearsing surrender. The Shaolin discipline teaches a different path, not blind optimism, but courageous responsibility. To accept failure as a teacher, not a verdict. To accept discomfort as training, not danger. To accept doubt, but never obey it. Pay attention to who consistently reduces your vision, who reminds you of limits more than possibilities, who feels uneasy when you speak about growth. Discouragement is contagious, and if left untreated, it becomes a lifestyle. The warrior does not argue with discouragement. He outgrows it. He trains in silence, builds in solitude, and returns stronger, not to prove them wrong, but to prove himself disciplined.
Not all support is real. Some of it is performance. Master Shi Heng Yi teaches that false support is more dangerous than open opposition because it feels safe while slowly weakening your spine. False support agrees with you publicly but doubts you privately. It praises your effort while secretly hoping you return to your old limits. These people rarely say, "Stop." Instead, they say, "Take it slow. Don't rush. There's no need to push so hard." At first, their words feel reasonable, even kind. But notice the pattern. Their encouragement never leads to growth, only delay. True support challenges your comfort. False support protects it. False supporters celebrate balance, but fear intensity. They admire discipline in theory, but feel threatened by it in practice. They are comfortable when you talk about goals, but uneasy when you act on them. Master Shi Heng Yi reminds us, words mean nothing without alignment of energy. Watch closely. Who shows up when the work is boring? Who remains present when results are slow? Who becomes distant when your progress becomes undeniable? False support disappears when your growth demands honesty, because your rise forces them to confront their own stagnation. Another sign of false support is conditional encouragement. They support you as long as you do not surpass them, as long as you remain familiar, as long as you do not change the dynamic. Once you outgrow the role they assigned you, their tone shifts. They may accuse you of ego, of pride, of forgetting where you came from. But growth is not betrayal. The Shaolin path teaches silent observation. Do not confront false support emotionally. Simply outgrow it. Real allies do not fear your discipline. They sharpen it. And anyone uncomfortable with your commitment was never supporting your future, only preserving your past. Emotional manipulation is control without force, and it is one of the most subtle demons you will ever face. Master Shi Heng Yi teaches that manipulation thrives on guilt, because guilt bypasses logic and attacks identity. It sounds like love, but it feels like pressure. If you really cared, if you loved us, why are you changing so much? These statements are not questions, they are commands disguised as emotion. Manipulators rarely tell you what they want directly. Instead, they make you responsible for how they feel. Your growth becomes their pain. Your discipline becomes their loss. And slowly, you begin to negotiate with yourself. You reduce your effort to avoid conflict. You hide your ambition to maintain peace. You delay your progress to protect their comfort. Master Shi Heng Yi warns, anyone who needs you weak to feel secure is not connected to you through love, but through control. Manipulation often comes from fear, fear of abandonment, fear of irrelevance, fear of facing their own unfulfilled potential. But fear does not justify chains. The Shaolin discipline teaches emotional sovereignty. You are responsible for your actions, not for managing the emotions of others. Observe how manipulation works. When you set boundaries, they accuse you of distance. When you choose discipline, they call you obsessed. When you protect your peace, they call you selfish. These labels are weapons. Mastery requires seeing through them, without hatred, without argument, without apology. Silence is often the most powerful response. not avoidance, but refusal to participate in emotional games. You are allowed to grow. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to choose strength over approval. Control ends the moment you stop explaining yourself. And the warrior who masters this does not break bonds with anger. He simply steps beyond reach.
Comfort is not evil, but unchecked comfort is deadly. Master Shi Heng Yi teaches that comfort becomes a demon when it replaces discipline, when ease becomes priority and growth becomes optional. Comfort does not arrive violently, it arrives quietly, through routines that no longer challenge you, through people who reassure you that this is enough. The most dangerous comfort is not physical, it is emotional. It sounds like permission to stop striving, to stop questioning, to stop sharpening yourself. You deserve rest. You've done enough. Why push so hard? These words feel caring, but when repeated daily, they build a cage with soft walls. Master Shi Heng Yi warns, comfort is addictive because it feels like safety, but safety without growth is stagnation. Warriors are not trained in ease, they are forged in controlled discomfort, cold water, early mornings, silent repetition. Discomfort reveals truth, comfort hides it. Those who encourage constant comfort often fear intensity, not because intensity is wrong, but because it exposes their lack of discipline. When you choose discomfort voluntarily, you reclaim control over your mind. You teach yourself that pain is temporary, but weakness is expensive. Comfort tells you to delay training. Discipline tells you to begin anyway. Comfort tells you to avoid resistance. Discipline tells you resistance is the path. The Shaolin path does not reject comfort forever. It teaches timing, rest after effort, peace after struggle. But comfort before effort creates dependency. Ask yourself, who encourages your growth even when it is uncomfortable? Who urges you to rest when rest becomes an excuse? The warrior does not reject comfort, he commands it. Your body knows the truth long before your mind accepts it. Master Shi Heng Yi teaches that energy never lies. Words deceive, intentions confuse, but energy is honest. After spending time with someone, observe yourself, not emotionally, physically. Do you feel grounded or scattered? Focused or heavy? Clear or mentally foggy? Energy drain is not always dramatic. Sometimes it feels like subtle exhaustion, a loss of motivation, a sudden need to distract yourself. These are signals. Demons do not always attack directly. Some simply drain you until discipline feels impossible. Master Shi Heng Yi warns, if someone consistently leaves you weaker, they are not neutral. Energy drain often comes from unresolved tension, from conversations where you must explain yourself repeatedly, from environments where you shrink to avoid conflict, from people who consume attention but offer no stability. Notice patterns, not moments. One bad day means nothing. Consistent depletion means everything. The Shaolin path teaches self-observation without judgment. Do not blame, do not accuse, do not dramatize. Simply measure. Who respects your silence? Who interrupts it? Who demands emotional labor without offering clarity? Energy is currency, and every interaction is a transaction. Warriors protect their energy because energy fuels discipline. Without it, rituals collapse,
Training weakens, focus fractures. Choosing where you spend your energy is choosing who you become. This is not selfishness, it is strategy. Mastery requires conserving strength for what matters. Not everyone deserves access to your inner world. When you honor your energy, clarity returns. And when clarity returns, demons lose their hiding place.
Loyalty is often praised as a virtue, but Master Shi Heng Yi teaches that blind loyalty becomes a cage when it demands that you remain small. True loyalty is not about staying the same together. It is about growing together, even when growth is uncomfortable. When loyalty requires sacrifice of your discipline, it is no longer loyalty. It is fear disguised as commitment. Many people stay trapped in old environments because they confuse familiarity with duty. They feel responsible for maintaining dynamics that no longer serve their evolution. Master Shi Heng Yi reminds us, your past does not own your future. Some relationships survive only because no one changes. The moment you introduce discipline, boundaries, or higher standards, tension appears. This tension reveals truth. Those aligned with your growth adapt. Those attached to your old identity resist. Loyalty without growth often sounds like, "We've always done it this way. Don't forget where you came from. Why do you need more?" These statements are not about respect. They are about control. True respect honors evolution. The Shaolin path teaches that seasons change, training changes, roles change. Holding on to outdated loyalty prevents you from stepping into responsibility. Mastery requires understanding that outgrowing people is not betrayal, it is natural law. Not everyone who walked with you in the beginning has the strength to walk with you in discipline. And that is not a judgment, it is clarity. When loyalty becomes a reason to abandon your standards, you are no longer loyal to truth. You are loyal to fear. The warrior honors the past, but does not live there. Distance is often misunderstood as coldness, but Master Shi Heng Yi teaches that distance is discipline when closeness becomes harmful. Distance is not rejection, it is regulation. Just as the body requires rest between training sessions, the mind requires space to maintain clarity. Constant exposure to misaligned energy weakens resolve. The discipline of distance begins internally. You stop explaining yourself. You stop seeking approval. You stop negotiating your boundaries. This creates silence. And silence is uncomfortable for those who relied on access to control you. Master Shi Heng Yi reminds us, you do not owe everyone proximity. Distance allows observation without emotion. It allows patterns to reveal themselves without interference. Some people only show their true nature when you step back. They accuse you of changing, of becoming distant, of being different. But what they truly fear is losing influence. The Shaolin path teaches strategic withdrawal, not to escape, but to preserve strength. Distance protects your rituals, your training, your focus. It prevents unnecessary battles and conserves energy for essential ones. Distance is an act of respect for yourself. You do not announce it, you do not justify it. You simply live it. The warrior does not burn bridges in anger. He crosses fewer bridges with intention. And in that quiet space, clarity deepens, discipline strengthens, and peace becomes stable.
One of the hardest disciplines to master is choosing inner peace over approval. Master Shi Heng Yi teaches that many people never find peace not because life is cruel, but because they are addicted to being accepted. Approval feels safe. It feels like belonging, but it is unstable
because it depends on others remaining comfortable with who you are. The moment you grow, approval becomes conditional. People who once praised you begin to question you. People who once felt close begin to feel distant. And if you are not disciplined, you will shrink yourself to restore harmony. Master Shi Heng Yi reminds us, peace that depends on permission is not peace. Choosing inner peace requires courage. It means disappointing others without becoming bitter. It means being misunderstood without needing to explain. Most people exhaust themselves trying to be seen as good, loyal, or kind. But goodness without boundaries turns into self-betrayal. The Shaolin path teaches alignment over appearance. Your actions must align with your values, not with expectations placed upon you. When you stop chasing approval, something powerful happens. Your mind quiets, your decisions sharpen, your energy stabilizes. You no longer react, you respond. People may call you cold, detached, changed, but what they are really seeing is self-respect. Inner peace is not the absence of conflict, it is the refusal to abandon yourself to avoid it. And once you choose peace, you stop negotiating your worth.
Mastery is quiet. There is no applause when you walk away from manipulation, no celebration when you choose discipline over comfort, no reward for protecting your inner world. But this is the path. Master Shi Heng Yi teaches that true strength is not proven through domination, but through restraint. Not everyone around you is meant to walk your path. Some were meant to teach you. Some were meant to test you. And some were meant to be left behind. This is not cruelty, it is clarity. Demons lose power the moment they are seen, not confronted, not fought, seen. Once seen, you no longer feed them with emotion, attention, or guilt. You simply move forward. The warrior does not seek revenge, he seeks alignment. He walks away without anger, without fear, without regret. Because regret belongs to those who ignored the signs. You were never meant to carry everyone with you. You were meant to carry responsibility for your mind, your discipline, your path. The Shaolin way teaches simplicity. Train daily, speak less, observe more, choose strength. And remember this final truth. Peace is not something you find, it is something you protect. Protect it fiercely, protect it silently, protect it without apology. That is mastery.